Right now, I feel like it's quite normal to wait for motivation to do the hard work. And that's what's normal, that's what's average. The problem with that is that motivation is fickle. If it only comes from results, you don't see results 100% of the time. Even when you're in the best shape of your life, results would be classified as the moment when you wake up, you're looking quite shredded, maybe you're pumped, and you're not currently bloated, you're not currently tired. I think this is a major hurdle that a lot of people are struggling to get over. They're waiting for motivation to go to the gym. They're waiting for motivation to do the hard work. They're waiting for motivation to stop playing video games and go and do their homework. But the motivation comes after you do those things. So it's almost ironic. It's like you'll want to do it after you've done it. That is really the case here. You'll want to do it after you've done it. After you've done the session, you're happy and you're motivated for the session. After you've done the homework and received a good grade, you feel motivated for schoolwork and you feel happy that you did the work. But before the action, before the hard work, we're faced with discomfort. We're faced with the uncomfortable action of stopping the current instant gratification activity that we're doing, like watching Netflix or playing video games, stopping that and then doing the hard work. And you need to do the hard work when you don't feel like it. And that is actually hard. That's difficult. And a few of my best fans seem to understand the concept. And I'm proud of you guys. But honestly, for most people, that is actually a very hard statement to follow through on. Do the hard work when you don't feel like it. And that actually has just added another realization. I'm realizing a lot of things and I'm like, my brain's like connect, what's the word? The parts in your brain like connect to each other, the neurons, and they make new memories and realizations and whatever. I'm getting a lot of those recently. I just realized that doing the hard work when you don't feel like it, doing the work when you don't have motivation to, that is acting on... I was close to like a new kind of understanding. I'm just trying to like, I understand it. I'm just trying to put it into words for you to understand. It was acting without emotion. Acting without emotion. Doing the hard work when you don't feel like it is doing actions without influence of your emotions. That makes sense. So it seems like what's normal, what's average, is to wait until your emotions line up for your actions. And that's not good. That's actually not good at all. I've mentioned on a previous video that you need to act on your core values. You need to act on what is good practice, what is good conduct for you. And I don't believe that is in line with emotion. And in fact, emotion isn't really something that I believe we should have that controls our action at all. That fully makes sense. Emotion, it should not be something that influences our actions, because if you're angry, if you feel aggressive and that influences your action, you're a bad person. You're probably an angry person who no one wants to be around. If your emotion makes you feel quite weak and reserved, then that's not an action that you want either, because that will mean that you only feel safe under the covers scrolling on Twitter and Instagram where there's no feeling of discomfort. Perhaps motivation is an emotion. So emotions shouldn't be included in this requirement for action. Emotions should not be included in the requirements for action. Action should be based on core values and good conduct. What would get you to those goals? What would get you to the things you want to do? I always relate everything that I talk about to normal people who aren't on a self-improvement journey, and then obviously those of us who are, because those of us who are on this self-improvement journey have been those normal people. And it's quite... I think the understanding seems to just be better when you can relate to like the previous version of you, because the previous version of me acted on emotion. I acted on motivation. I waited till I was motivated to do something. I wasn't motivated to do the hard work almost ever. So I almost never did the hard work. Now I'm doing the hard work when I don't feel like it. I'm doing the hard work with or without the emotion. It doesn't matter. The emotion is like a separate part of my mind. The emotion does not influence the action. Wow. I think that's actually quite a good realization, but I don't know if that's understandable to other people. I don't know if that makes sense. So there is a gap. There's a gap between the work that you need to do and the moment that you will see results. This gap is in anything. In the gym, for fat loss, for muscle gain, you need to do the work first, and then a month or two down the line, you start seeing the results. In your business, it could take years to see some kind of significant progress. Learning a language, learning an instrument, any homework, anything like this, you have to do the work first, and then you see the results later. That's interesting. So really, the practical advice I can give anyone who cares for it is, don't let emotions influence your actions. Motivation is an emotion, and maybe emotions should just be completely separate from actions, and perhaps you could look at them as an extra treat. If you're motivated, that's an extra treat. But either way, you were gonna do the work with or without motivation. Just if you feel motivated to do it, that's just a little bit nicer. I think that's the better way to view all this. We don't get emotions consistently. Emotions are fleeting. If you wait until the right moment, if you wait until the right emotion and motivation, you'll be waiting a while. You'll miss most of your workouts. You won't ever get a business off the ground. You won't ever be able to compete in your business, in your career, with the people who are doing the work without the influence of emotion. And so I wonder, this is maybe even a concept I've got to think about a lot more. Not letting emotions influence actions. Because that's what I've been doing with my timetable. The schedule, the timetable that I've shown in my Superhuman Productivity video, it's based on my core values, and it's based on my goals and what would be good conduct for me. It's not based on emotion. I made it with a blank state emotion in mind, and I act on it with a blank state of emotion in mind. It doesn't matter if I'm tired. It doesn't matter if I'm motivated or I'm not motivated. It doesn't matter about anything else. It's 3 p.m, that means it's time to record a video. It's 10 a.m, that means it's time to edit a video. My day is set out without emotion, and for the 3 months that I've been using this timetable, I have never had productivity. I've never had success like this before. This has been the first time I actually feel like I've worked hard in my life and I've progressed something other than my fitness. And I think it's because I unlinked emotion to action. I didn't wait until I felt like making a video. It was only when I took emotion out of the picture and started acting on good values and a strict timetable of requirements that I was starting to produce the videos that I actually feel proud of. 2 videos, 3 videos a week consistently. I really hope anyone watching this could potentially benefit from it. Try and unlink emotions from your actions. Base your actions on something completely different, on your core values, on the good conscious goals that you set, the performance-based goals that you set. And don't let emotions dictate your actions, because our emotions are they're not that good. They're not that good for us. If it's normal for your emotions to keep you in a state of comfort, homeostasis, to keep you just doing the easy, comfortable things, because it's understandable. That's what your body wants. After years of evolution, your body just wants to remain comfortable and remain in that good emotion, safe feeling. But that leaves people depressed. That leaves people boring. That leaves people with literally nothing in their lives that they look forward to apart from the next episode on Netflix and leveling up their magic skill on RuneScape. It doesn't leave anything in real life. I think emotions are dangerous. Acting on emotions actually feels dangerous. So perhaps to unlink the emotional influence on actions, it might take some real conscious effort, because it did for me. I had to sit there and not think about how I felt, just think logically, like a very masculine way of thinking. It was just logic. It was no emotion, it was logic. What do I want to achieve? When do I want to achieve it? What are the daily actions that will get me there? it's like robotic, and maybe someone would say like, oh, but that's not a good life, but like, this is the happiest and most fulfilled I've ever felt in my life. This is the hardest I've ever worked in my life. And anyone else who's been through the self-improvement journey, who stopped eating shit, who stopped eating junk food, who stopped watching Netflix, who stopped playing video games and started achieving things in their lives, they would agree. It's good to be on that high performance, high productivity group, rather than the ones who are just addicted to consuming media. You don't need much motivation to go and watch Netflix and go and do something easy, because it's not hard to do. It takes you 5 seconds to go from your room to the TV room, or 2 seconds to open your phone and go onto Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook. It's easy to do, so you don't need much motivation. And that's the trap. That's the trap of acting on emotion. You're just left with these addictions. You're left just, I don't even know. Like, I've been in that state before, and I'm sure that you're watching this right now. You've been there, and it's just, what do we even say about it? It's just, there's nothing more. It's the current second. That's it. It's the current second of scrolling, of looking at the picture on Instagram, or the current episode that you're watching, and there's nothing past that. There's no benefit to your life. There's barely any entertainment. Like, every person who I know who watches Netflix all day and who plays video games, they don't seem like they're having that much fun. Like, they all seem to admit that they're bored. An example I used a few months ago was, ask these people how their coronavirus lockdown experience has been. And every single one of them will tell you, oh, it's been so boring. But you've been doing the same easy, comfortable activities, the easy instant gratification activities. So now you finally admit that those things are boring. Don't give me any more excuses. No, they're boring. I see people watching Netflix, they don't smile, they don't laugh. Maybe they like, that's it, that's the laugh that you get after 1 hour of Netflix when you're watching like Rick and Morty and all these episodes where that's it. You watch it blank-faced and you go 2 times because it's kind of funny. That's it. Is there fulfillment in that? No. But there isn't much else to those actions, but they're so easy to do. Your emotions want to go and do them because they're safe, and therefore the motivation requirement to do them is so low. This is one of those videos where like 99% of people haven't watched this far, and only the people who have watched this far are the ones who like really seem to like my content and really seem to agree with me. So what's up, guys? What can I say? Like, should we just have a little chat without all the peasants who have already clicked off? Like, how are we doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. I've just updated my timetable again, and I actually felt quite excited for that. Like, how weird is that I actually felt excited and quite fun that I just updated my timetable and just kind of like changed a few times and a few things like that. Like, that's my fun. How sick is that? How great is that? That my fun, it comes from things that will lead my life to be better, and not from things that will cause my life to be just slightly worse every single time, but from things that literally make my life better. So the fun I'm having today is actually amplified. I'm not stealing fun from tomorrow like an instant gratification activity. I'm having fun today, and I'm also adding fun tomorrow. Man, the life of delayed gratification, the life of hard work and self-improvement, it's crazy. I can't believe I've been putting this off for so long. I had motivation for the self-improvement grind when I was 17, 18. I was focused on making progress in the gym mainly. And throughout my time in university, I didn't really have motivation for this, but not in a bad way. It was just, I was actually just in the moment. I was a little party boy. I was just going out loads and just not really thinking about hard work or anything. And it was a life of instant gratification. I had motivation for the easy things, the fun things. And whilst it was great, probably the most fun of my life, the problem was it sucked the fun. It took fun from tomorrow. And eventually, there's only so many tomorrows you can take the fun off, till eventually it's not fun today and it's not fun tomorrow. And I experienced something like that for over a year. that I didn't feel like I was having fun either way. I wasn't improving tomorrow, but I wasn't even having fun today, even if I was doing the instant gratification. It's like the serotonin in your brain or something like that, where you've like fried your receptors, you've fried your dopamine receptors, and you've just done too much of those things. Because they're easy to do, it's very easy to fall down this lifestyle. It's instant gratification. It is kind of like a trap, and it kind of is relating to the topic of this video, because I couldn't escape this kind of lifestyle for a while because I couldn't see the results anymore. I had results previously, but I was slowly losing my results. My body was getting worse. I was eating bad food. I was just spending all day doing really nothing. And so for a long time, like, I wasn't seeing any kind of results. And that is honestly the most unhappy, the most unfulfilling part of my life. And when I started doing the work without motivation, I started going to the gym again. I started eating right again. I started reducing my time on social media, on video games, on Netflix, on movies, going out, drugs. I started reduced all that stuff, and I didn't see any results, for the time period, because there is always a time period that you don't see results. And so for a few months, I had to do the work when there was no motivation, there was no results. But as soon as the results started coming in, as soon as my body started looking different and I felt healthier, it became easy. Then the motivation came back. And then when I really doubled down on this and I really invested into this self-improvement, the results doubled, the motivation doubled. And even now, even whilst the motivation is high, I'm not using motivation as a requirement for the work. I've set the timetable. And again, if you are one of my true fans, you genuinely like my videos, you watch all my videos, I want you to make the timetable that I've presented in that video, the superhuman productivity one. I want you to make it right now. In fact, I'm gonna just stop the video here. Just please, if you literally do care about your self-improvement and you think that you're benefiting from my videos, don't do anything else right now. Set aside the next 20 minutes. You're not that busy. Set aside the next 20 minutes. Make that timetable right now. Grab the notes on your phone, grab a piece of paper, go on your computer, write it exactly how I've done. The minute that you wake up, the minute that you go to sleep, have different blocks. Just like a timetable you used to have for school. Set it out by the hour. I'll show you my most updated one right now. Imitate it. Write it down, rewrite it, get addicted to it, read it 1,000 times. I read mine about 20 times a day. And just after I've updated it today, I'm literally looking at it like every few seconds, just because when it's ingrained in your head, you feel so comfortable and you feel so consistent in your work. Because I know that 10 a.m. is video editing time. So I know that I've got 3 hours to edit this video tomorrow. I know that 4:30 to 5:30 is my blog post writing. I know that 5:30 to 6:15 is when I initiate conversations with strangers, which is actually I can't even emphasize how good that is. It's essentially like my secret superpower, which I don't really tell anyone apart from my few close friends. Initiate conversations with strangers. Walk up to a girl and say, hey. Walk up to an old man and ask him about the weather and stuff. You know how old men seem to have so much confidence, they'll just walk up to you and start a conversation. I want to be one of those old guys. This is how I improved my social skills. This is how I went from shivering and shaking when I would try and speak to a girl and when I would try and make new friends, to doing it so naturally and actually feeling like I'm that social, confident guy, because I approached strangers, approached them when it was hard, approached them when I didn't have motivation. See, I'm linking it to the point of this video. I did it when it was hard, I did it when I didn't have motivation, and now it feels somewhat easy. I recently just got my friend Bu, he's the one that I went wild camping with. I got him on this as well, and he's been grinding at it. He realized as well. I told him that if you're into business, if you're into social skills, if you're into dating, if you're into life, this is the best opportunity maker there is. Think about it, the ability to talk to someone new is the best opportunity maker. There isn't literally nothing better. If you can't speak to someone new, if you can't walk up to someone who isn't even looking at your direction and initiate conversation, literally get words out of your mouth at them, you won't really be making that many opportunities. If you feel like you haven't met many new people, you haven't made many new friends, you haven't gotten a girlfriend or anything, be honest, how many new people have you opened your mouth to? Probably not that many. You've probably been going through the same kind of lifestyle where you've been going to school or, you know, work or the same things over and over again, and you've just been seeing the same people, but you've not been approaching a stranger. And that really does link in with the video, because this is something that if you wait until motivation, you will not do it. I do this approach, I do this initiate conversation when I don't feel like it. And then when the results come, this really does tie in with the video title. When the results come from this initiation, when I get a girl's number, when I meet, like I've met some guys and played frisbee with them and they invited me to come and play with them again. When you see results like that, then the motivation comes. It's honestly, I know this is off topic, kind of off topic, but kind of related. If you're watching this far, get onto it. There's three things really. The motivation, unlink the emotion from action. That's number one. Create your timetable, your daily schedule, just like we used to have in school. I've already shown you it. Make it, copy that. That is probably the best change that I've made in the last few months. And number three, initiate conversations with strangers. And all of that really ties into the point of this video, which is to do the work even when you don't feel like it. Take care. Oh fuck, I can't even talk. This is one of the hardest workouts I've done. I'm in my home gym. Just hit goblet squats. And I'm going to attach this to the end of the video that you're currently watching because it fits so well. You want to make progress in the gym, you have to do the actions without the influence of your emotions. My emotions, my thoughts wanted me to stop at 10 reps with the leg extension. They wanted me to stop at 20 reps with the leg extension, but I kept on pushing it. If I stopped early, if I stopped 20 reps on the leg extension, or if I stopped at 9 reps of the goblet squats, I would have left 30-40% extra in the tank. And because I pushed past that mental barrier, I literally said to myself, wow. Like I collapsed on the bench and said, wow, I'm actually so proud that I just hit that. My thighs, my quads are literally burning. Don't let emotions influence your actions. Let your actions just come from good values, good consciousness, your good goals that you set. Because if I let emotions influence my actions, I would have stopped way earlier. But I didn't, because I've got an app that says today's 15 reps. So I went for 15, even though I wanted to stop at 9. All right, let's show you my quads and then let's leave it at that.